Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When the darkness appears and the night draws near, and the day is past and gone, at the river I stand, guide my feet and hold my hand, precious Lord, lead me home.
Women are bound in blood with Christ. Several of us gathered outside Pilate's house when we heard that Jesus had been taken there. Some nearly fainted when the sentence was spoken, crucifixion. And when they led him away to be flogged, we stayed, waiting. At first, there had been tension between the women of Jerusalem and the women from Galilee, but our love for Jesus erased. Mary of Magdala became my dear friend. It was easy to see why Jesus loved her. It was she who gave me the courage to come forward that day near Capernaum. For 12 years, I had been bleeding. 12 years. The law called me unclean. My family turned away from me. I lived alone at the edge of town. I spent everything on physicians, and still I suffered. But I had heard of Jesus, so I told myself, if I only touch his cloak, I will be healed. I slipped through the crowd and touched the fringe of his garment, and in that moment I felt it, the change within me. I was healed. And then Jesus stopped and he said, "Who touched me?" Peter answered, "The crowd is pressing in on you." But Jesus said, "No, I felt power go out from me." I was terrified. I had not meant to offend him. Trembling, I came forward, fell at his feet, But he lifted me up with gentle hands and said, "My daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace." He touched me and did not draw back. From that moment, I followed him wherever I could go, though people whispered, though they judged us. Mary warned me they would call us immoral simply for walking beside him. But she carried their cruelty with quiet strength. Yet today, when she heard the sentence of death, the color drained from her face. Her grief was unbearable to see. And I am ashamed to say my first thought was this: what will become of us when he is gone? But then I remembered, I am bound to this man in blood. He made holy the blood that flowed through me, and holy is the blood that will be spilled here today.
Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray. Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray. Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray.
The second station, Jesus takes up his cross. You free all daughters of Sarah, bent from the weight of sin. I can't believe they are going to kill this innocent man. He changed my life. He cured me. For 18 years I lived bent, nearly double, 18 years of pain, of being told I was possessed by demons, of being shunned and preached at. Then he set me free. It was the Sabbath, and I had gone to the synagogue to pray. Usually my only outing, I avoided the scorn of the streets. I noticed him teaching and tried to listen without being seen. But he called to me. The men stared with disgust, and I shrank back. Yet he smiled and beckoned, and my fear faded. As I approached, the others stepped away. But he did not. Instead, he stood and placed his hands on me. No one had touched me with kindness since I was 11, when my back first began to bend. By 12, I was stooped like an old woman. Now, in my 29th year, a man touched me with compassion. If that had been all, it would have been enough. But he said, "You are freed from your infirmity." Warmth flowed from his hands down my spine. The pain vanished. Then he lifted my chin, and I stood straight. For the first time in years, I looked towards the sky and praised God. A synagogue official rushed forward, furious. "There are 6 days for work," he told the crowd. "Come to be healed then, not on the Sabbath." Jesus answered calmly, Do you not untie your ox or donkey to give it water on the Sabbath? This woman, a daughter of Sarah, has been bound for 18 years. Should she not be set free on the Sabbath?" The officials were silenced, but the people and I rejoiced. I followed him to Jerusalem. And now as I watch him take up his cross, I know this: I will follow him anywhere, even to Calvary and beyond.
Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray. Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray. Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray.
The third station, Jesus falls for the first time. You have heard our cries. When the women began keening, my heart leaps up into my throat. This is dangerous. The Romans will not tolerate public grief for a man they have condemned as a criminal. But the fear passes quickly. Courage rises instead. I lift my voice with the others and follow behind the soldiers as they drive Jesus through the streets beneath the weight of his cross. The men have vanished, but we women will not abandon his mother, and she will not abandon him. I understand. I am a mother too. I followed him here from southern, a Syrophoenician by birth, a Canaanite by religion, an outsider to the Jews, despised as a pagan. Yet the moment I saw him near Tyre and Sidon, I knew he was a holy man. I fell at his feet and cried, "Have mercy on me and my daughter, for she is possessed by a demon." At first he said nothing, still I begged. My daughter's life was at stake. Then he said, "Is it right to take children's bread and throw it to the dogs?" "Yes, Lord," I answered quickly. "Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the table." Jesus smiled. "Great is your faith. Let it be done as you desire." I ran home and found my daughter sitting up in bed, smiling. The demon was gone. Now she walks beside me through the streets of Jerusalem, our cries rising with the others. Suddenly she gasps, Jesus has fallen beneath his cross. His mother stands nearby, her hands reaching toward him as they must have when he first learned to walk. Slowly he struggles to his feet and staggers on. Oh, that I could give my life to spare his.
Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray. Stay with me, remain here in me, watch and pray, watch and pray.
The fourth station, Jesus meets his mother. Body of my body, blood of my blood. I am standing next to his mother when he sees her. He had risen from his fall and walked only a few steps when he raised his head as if she had called out to him, though she had made no sound. I think my heart will break at the look of gentle compassion that appears on his face at the sight of her. She reaches out her hand and touches his cheek, cupping it with that tender gesture of mothers from the beginning of time. Their eyes, so alike, meet and hold. Neither of them weeps, although Mary's entire body looks broken with grief. The soldiers are uneasy, looking away, none of them very old, and I suspect they can't help but think of their own mother. Finally, one of them puts his hand on Jesus' back almost gently and says in a gruff voice, "Keep moving." His mother's hand falls back to her side, wet with blood from his face. She looks after him and slowly puts the reddened hand to her face and licks off the blood, every drop.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul.
Station 5. The cross is laid on Simon of Cyrene. Have mercy on me, for I am heavily burdened. I am standing with my husband, Simon of Cyrene, wondering what all the noise is about. We have just come into the city and have barely caught our breath when suddenly a Roman soldier hails my husband. "You," the soldier says, "come here." I am shocked. We are not common people. Simon is an important man in our community in Ethiopia. We have come to worship at the temple, as our people have from the time of Solomon. Why? We list one of the Solomon wives among our ancestors, and this Roman soldier treats my husband like a slave? They grab Simon and pull him into the street, as they do so, I see the poor, wretched, bent under the weight of a crossbeam. The soldiers order Simon to take the beam from him. I am afraid and very angry. How dare they thrust Simon into this mess? Women are crying and carrying on as if this is an important man, not some common criminal. Simon is the most important man, not this other. We are not part of this. But Simon, who can't bear to see a donkey suffer, gently takes the beam from the poor man, saying as he does so, "I will bear your burden for a short while, sire." The bloody man lifts his head and nods. "Sire, why on earth should Simon call this criminal sire?" But then I see Simon's face, and I know something important is happening. Simon is a proud man, not given to honoring people without cause. And here he is, bowing to this bloody wreck of a man as he takes the beam from him. I open my mouth to protest, but Simon, who knows me all too well, looks up and says, "All is well. Come follow us." Marveling, I do so, wondering how all this will end.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul.
The sixth station. A woman wipes the face of Jesus. Woman and man, all are made in the image of God. I wait for him by my door. I know he will have to pass here on the way out to Golgotha. They all do, all the ones condemned to be crucified. And so I wait, hoping I can give him some tiny bit of comfort. I know they have beaten him. In some awful way, it is Roman kindness, for the weaker he is when they hang him on the cross, the shorter his ordeal will be. I hear the keening of the women long before I see them. The Roman soldiers turn the corner at the bottom of my street, and there he is. A richly dressed black man has been pressed into carrying the crossbeam, probably because the soldiers are afraid Jesus will die before they can kill him. Jesus already is staggering on the steps of the narrow street, and my heart breaks at the sight. As he slowly nears my door, I see in horror they have put a crown of thorns onto his head. Some soldier's idea of fun. The thorns have pierced his scalp, and blood courses down his face, nearly blinding him. As the soldiers push past, I remove my veil and shove myself toward him. To my surprise, the soldiers let me through. I bend beside him and put my veil to his face to wipe away the blood. He puts his hands over mine, holding the soft cloth to his face for a few seconds. Then he hands it back to me with a sigh and a small smile. A soldier grabs my shoulder and sets me aside, and Jesus continues on his slow, painful way up the sloping street. Tears begin to run down my face, and I lift my veil to wipe them away. As I look at my veil, I nearly scream, for there, looking back at me, is the true image of his face. I hold it to my heart and weep.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that calls the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul.
The seventh station. Jesus falls a second time. From the little she had, she has put in everything. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Even with the help of the man called Simon, he soon falls again. As he does, a great groan goes up from the women, and our keening grows louder. How different he is this day from the day I first encountered him in the temple. I had gone to give my tiny mite into the temple treasury, hoping it could help some other person in need. As I turned from doing this, I found him smiling at me. "Look," he called out to the men with him, This poor widow's gift is worth far more than all the other contributions, for they gave of their abundance from the money they had left over, while she gave all the money she had from the little she has to live on. At first, I was embarrassed to have all these men looking at me. But then I realized he was not making fun of me, but instead was doing me an honor. I had heard about this man's teachings, but I had been too shy to get near enough to hear him. I had never had time to study very much, and I was afraid I was too stupid to understand this great man's teachings. But as I heard more that day, I realized that many of his teachings were like this: simple stories of everyday people used to illustrate important points. So I stayed to listen, and listening discovered new depths within myself. That's why when he fell, I looked away, unable to bear the sight of this humiliation. This man changed my life. The least I can do is be with him as they take his.
All you who pass this way, look and see. All you who pass this way, look and see. Is any sorrow like the sorrow like that afflicts me? All you who pass this way, taste and see.
The eighth station, Jesus addresses the women of Jerusalem. All who pass by, look and see. Is there any sorrow like my sorrow? When he painfully pulls himself up from where he has fallen, he sees our grieving group of women. His look causes us to fall silent. Then he speaks, his voice soft with pity. Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For the days are coming when people will say, blessed are those who are childless. Blessed are the women that have never given birth and the breasts that have never nursed. The words fall among us like burning brands. The crowded narrow street grows quiet as he speaks, and his voice seems to pick up volume as it bounces off the stone walls. Then they will say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us up. For if this is what they do when the wood is green, what will happen when the wood is dry? What does it mean, a woman whispers? And I think, he is the green wood, still alive and with us, and these fools are killing him. If we can do this to this godly man, what hope is there for us when we can no longer see him or touch him or hear him? And visions of women burning, of girl children going up in smoke, filled my horrified eyes, and I fall to my knees moaning. Around me, the women move on, the sound of their grief washing up like waves against the uncaring walls of the city.
All you who pass this way, weep for me, but for yourselves and for your children. All you who pass this way, look and see.
The ninth station. Jesus falls a third time. Our bond with you strengthens our bond with one another. When they arrested Jesus, the men urged us to go into hiding, fearing the Romans would do a general sweep of the area in an effort to catch all of us who followed him. But his mother refused to leave. Hearing this, I told my husband, Cleopas, to go with the others. I would stay. Cleopas protested, fearing for me. But I told him that I would be safe, for the Romans would never suspect mere women of being dangerous. We agreed to meet later in the upper room of the house where he had shared Passover Seder with Jesus the day before. For the past year, we had traveled with Jesus as he taught, watched over him as he slept, marveled at the miracles he performed, and wondered at the things he told us. Most of all, we loved him. Our bond with one another had been strengthened by our bond to him. It is that bond that endangers Cleopas. He had been seen with him too often. But my womanhood renders me invisible to the Romans, to many of my own people as well. Women are simply part of the background, regarded by Jewish and Roman authorities alike as non-persons, unimportant, negligible. We Marys often had talked of this among ourselves and reminded one another that our namesake, the prophet Miriam, also had been thrust into the background. Each time he falls, my heart breaks anew. When he came face to face with his stricken mother, I felt as if I were choking on wormwood and gall. And now, just as we approach the city gate, he falls yet again. My heart lurches, for he does not move. Is he dead? Is it over? Hope and grief war in my soul. But then, one of the soldiers grabs a bucket from an old woman mopping a shop and pours the dirty water over him. As he stirs, his mother groans. It isn't over yet. He rises and walks on steadily out through the gate. We follow, walking toward Golgotha.
All you who pass this way, look and see. All you who pass this way, look and see. My God, why have you abandoned me? All you who pass this way, look and see.
Station 10. Jesus is stripped of his garments. May our children sit beside you and drink of your cup. Do you know what you are asking? As we pass through the city gate and climb the barren hill, I feel faint. This cannot be happening. When he fell for the third time, I thought he was dead, and for a moment, a terrible hope seized me. Perhaps the suffering would end there instead of on that cruel tree. My sons, James and John, fled with the others. But John will return. He will never let Jesus die alone. They have followed him since the day he called them from a fishing boat on the Sea of Galilee, where they worked beside their father, Zebedee. He is their cousin, but we always knew he was meant for more than nets and wood. Once I asked him a favor. What do you want? He said. Let my son sit beside you in your kingdom, one on the right hand and one on your left. You do not know what you are asking, he answered gently. Then he asked them, Can you drink the cup I must drink? Yes, they said. You will drink it, he replied, but those places are not mine to give. Now, standing beneath the bleak hillside, I understand how bitter that cup truly is. The soldiers move with cold precision. They strip him of his garments and cast lots for his cloak. His battered body stands exposed to the mockery of the crowd. One soldier offers wine mixed with gall. He takes it, tastes it, and turns away. I grasp his mother's hand. Another hand takes mine. John has come back.
O sacred head surrounded by crown of piercing thorn, O bleeding head so wounded, reviled and put to scorn, death pallid hue comes o'er you, the glow of life decays. Yet angel hosts adore you and tremble as they gaze.
The 11th station, Jesus is nailed to the cross. Our hearts feel every blow of that hammer. As I watch them drag him down onto the cross, I want to scream, "Stop! This is an innocent man. He saved my life." I was a maid in Jerusalem, young and foolish, caught in a scandal that could have killed me, betrothed to a man I had never seen. I was seduced by another. His mother caught us. The law said I should die, but my lover was protected by wealth and status. I knew nothing would happen to him. At daybreak, they dragged me to the temple. A man sat there surrounded by people. The officials threw me to the ground. "Rabbi, this woman was caught in adultery. What should we do?" He ignored them, writing in the dust. I saw him form the name of God, Then he looked up and said softly, "Let the one among you who has not sinned cast the first stone." One by one they left. Soon we were alone. "Has no one condemned you?" he asked. "No one, sir," I whispered. "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." He helped me to my feet, smiled, and pushed me gently toward the door.
What?
I left, given back my life, and I gave it to him. And now they're killing him. I hear his mother groan. They're not trying him, they're nailing him. Every hammer blow drives my heart into the ground. As they jerk his feet and pierce his flesh, the body convulses, and I fall, crushed by grief.
Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree?
Station 12. Jesus dies on the cross. And I know if my grief were a river, the whole earth would drown. They stretched his naked body across the cross. Even in utter vulnerability, he is magnificent. Through tears, I see not one man, but the suffering of all humanity. How can any human bear such a burden? To see them strike that beloved body fills me with grief and rage. I have loved him forever, or so it feels, though we met only 3 years ago in Magdala. The moment we spoke, I knew he had loved me long before I was born. Before him, my life was a prison of sorrow. I walked in endless darkness, longing only for the pain to end. And then he came, and the sun rose. With a glance, he shifted the shadow from my soul. With a touch, he drew me into a light so bright it dazzled my spirit. He called me beloved disciple. And when rumors came, I wept before him. He wiped my tears and said, "Mary, feel my hand on your face. I touch the image of God. Nothing they say can change that.
Yeah.
Not for me and not for the one who made you. My peace is upon you forever." My peace is upon you forever. I cling to those words as they nail him to the cross. His mother cries out a raw and broken sound. I hold her trembling shoulders as the hammer falls again and again. They raise the cross. The jolt seems enough to tear him apart. We wait in terrible silence as his strength fades. At last I hear him surrender to God. I do not need to look. He is gone. And if my grief were a river, the whole earth would drown.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord?
The 13th station. The body of Jesus is placed in the arms of his mother. And Mary remembered the words spoken to her long ago. Your own sword has so sharps. As I waited in pain for him to be born, now I wait in pain for him to die. I cannot take my eyes off of him, for every second that passes takes him farther from me. Where is my bright angel now? His soft summons of mother reaches me as if in a dream. I move as close to his feet as the soldiers will permit, John beside me. Amma, my dying son, says to me, indicating John, behold your son. And to John he says, behold your mother. His voice is almost too faint to hear. I am thirsty, he rasps. I turn in silent appeal, and the young soldier at the foot of the cross hesitates. Then with a slight shrug, he puts a sponge soaked in cheap wine onto his lance and hoists it to Jesus. He wets his lips and speaks again, his words tearing into my heart like knives. It is finished. Then he cries out to you, beloved, Abba, into your hands I commend my spirit. He drops his head and his eyes meet mine, and as I watch, the light dies. The skies darken, thunder rumbles, and a great silence falls. It seems as if the darkness lasts forever. After a time, however, light returns. Shaken, the soldiers begin taking my child down from the cross. One of them, a centurion, I think, motions to them to give me the body. I sink down on a rock, and with a curious gentleness, the soldiers hand him to me, draping him across my lap. His head lolls against my breast, and his soft hair strokes my chin. I gently close his eyes, and with my veil wipe the blood off his face. John says something to me, and I look up, my eyes blazing. Do not call me Naomi, which means pleasant. Call me Mara, which means bitter, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. John looks shocked, but what do I care? What are all the prophecies to me now? What do I care for all the fine words of men? My child is dead.
Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine?
The 14th station. Jesus is laid in the tomb. Sorrowful mother, all humanity shares your loss. Son to me, as if I can absorb him once again into my body. O beloved, have mercy on me. Pour your tender mercies down upon me and help me. Help me. I have no strength left. And once again, you send my bright angel. I feel the warmth at my back, the angel's hand upon my bent head, and hear the familiar voice, Mary, blessed of all women, do not be afraid, for God is pleased with you. And I remember the promise, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I allow them to take my son's body from me. They are telling me it is time to prepare him for burial. Salome has brought spices, and Joseph of Arimathea has gotten permission to bury him in his nearby tomb. And so I go through the ritual motions. As I once laid his sweet body tenderly in a cradle, I now lay his broken body tenderly in the tomb. The smell of the sweet herbs fills the air. For one last time, I kiss his mortal face, then gently cover it with a sheet of fine white fabric. My hand caresses the soft cloth, and I smile. Would that I had had such fine cloth to clothe him in while he lived. But I have no bitterness left. My heart already is looking ahead. We walk outside, and James and John push the great stone over the entrance. I stand looking at the tomb. How long, O beloved, how long? As my dear friends move about me, peace settles on me. I am again one with your will. Let it happen as you say.
Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb?